Hello and welcome. I'm Yaza and this is Dronistry. And what you see here is my last few weeks, precisely 2 weeks of progress. Okay, let me show you. I've changed the concept from the flat map to being basically like planets. And basically like 1.5 weeks I spent doing this. Researching different grid types, different grid methods, and trying to put them into code. I got heavily inspired. This is inspired, not stolen. I got heavily inspired with DSP. That's Dyson Sphere program. That's a game, basically Factorion spheres, where you build a Dyson sphere. And here's the result of what I finished yesterday, which is a grid, a shader for a grid. But before I show you more details, I'm gonna go back here, not here, back here, and I'm gonna show you some of the screenshots, some of the media I took throughout those weeks. So this is basically the first iteration, basically a sphere and projecting like some buildings in a sphere. This here was basically like grid being projected on the 2D grid being projected in the sphere. This didn't work too well, and I figured I had to change the coordinate systems. So I just basically threw out the grid systems, and this is how it looked like in practice. I still couldn't really figure out how to rotate those things properly. They're all over the place. This is the free placing mode, let's say. Yeah, we got plenty of media to go through, so there's a little reveal, and I spoiled it for you. But planets, yeah, I was like, you know, we're gonna have planets, right? I'm gonna have planets, so let me just make a sun. Let me just make a sun. And making a sun was actually pretty fun. I've basically all of the sun stuff here. The only graphic that I used externally is this thing. This is a this is not my cursor. My cursor is here. I'm gonna pause for now. And this flare over here is basically the only sprite used, and that's basically to make like an aureola, whatever the name is, a blur around the sun, and it's like facing the camera all the time. And the sun itself is basically made from 2 textures, and those are procedural textures, and a little shader I wrote here, and you can see the shader going around in here. This is just me showcasing the texture. Resolution, texture settings. Yeah, there's some speed. There's basically 2 overlay textures with different speeds. That's the basic thing. It looks pretty good for what that's the first time I kind of did something like that. It looks very good for what it is. Really, I was really happy with the result. It was like I just did it in a day because I felt like it. It was pretty cool. What do we have here? Placing, the buildings get aligned. That's pretty cool. Managed to do that. You can rotate, you can align, you can have a little tiny planet here. There's no snapping yet. And the snapping part actually took me way longer. So that's basically the first 3 days of doing the planet thing, right? What do I have here? More of the sun showcase, and here we're entering the the grid making process. This here is the failed result, kind of failed result of making a icosahedron. Is that how we pronounce it? Basically this. This is like icosahedron with a resolution of 2 or 3, because it's basically like a shape which gets divided into triangles, and those triangles get divided into more triangles, and how many you divide it into, that's the resolution kind of. It gets very dense very quickly, and I was just figuring out what I can make in order to like grid it up, but I didn't like the way it's like you get triangles and I think they're uniform, but the problem is you can't really grid it up, you know? You can't really place things on top of the planet. So that sucked. Although I made it, and I still have it in the have the code in the repo. This is basically the basic icosahedron. I think those lines, this dot and this dot and this dot and no, this dot and this dot, those should be connected, probably. And you could see the actual shape. These here and this here. Yeah, but that's the icosahedron, at least the points of it. And those you basically subdivide, you normalize the point, and that's how you get a sphere. That's like a resolution of 1, and you see it kind of taking shape of a sphere already. And this is just me figuring out what I just did wrong. That's pretty cool. It is a pretty cool shape. Yeah, just more icosahedron stuff. And this is me just figuring out how to work with icosahedrons. You can see this is like orthographic projection, and this here, like if you were to grid something in here, like sure, kinda, maybe. While doing research, I found like a game which is basically set on triangles. I didn't like how it looked like, but I appreciate the attempt. It was like a Factory Planet game. It's on itch.io. You can probably find it if you wanna research it up. If that's not the name, just drop. I'm just asking in the comments. I'm gonna find it. And that's me just figuring things out. Just wireframes and the sphere. And this is my kind of another attempt at trying to map the. My first attempt was basically trying to make it relative. Trying to like somehow place a grid on the sphere and trying to make it work. There's no snapping yet, but that's just like me placing the points, right? Here I tried to like basically I look at the results, what I get, and try and like by hand manually change the values how the points get generate. It didn't work so well, like you can see here. This here like works pretty well. Here goes bad. I think I had something different. Oh yeah, and this is me trying to adjust it like by hand, and this doesn't work. It needed some kind of logic behind it, because this what I did here was just like very uneven, very just there was no way it would really work without some kind of math rule in it, you know. This is just me trying to figure out like, yeah, if you place horizontally and you go down, then this line is shorter than this one. That's just sphere maths, you know. It's impossible to place a square grid on a sphere, but that didn't stop me trying. Yeah, here's another attempt. I think I still have it in the project right now. I will try doing something with that because I kind of like it. This is basically a grid, a relative grid. So basically you place something and you get like all the dots around it, and you can place more. But if I started here, I started building here, I went here, and here, and you can see, well, you can kind of see it doesn't align. This is kind of like offset to the bottom. And if you place like 1, 2, you're just gonna have like misaligned stuff, because you already like kind of morphed it around in here. And that's also partly because the math for placing the dots is kind of bad. I need to fix that, but you can see it clearly here. It's just it needs some work maybe for it to work, but it's possibly it might not be able to work. But I'll try working with this one. Maybe just change the game design a little bit so this is viable, because I really like the snapping, you know, with different sizes of buildings, with the conveyables being like more fluid, less rigid, like just like lines that you can snap to places and stuff. you know, this could be pretty cool. I need to put some more work into that, but I dropped it for a bit, and here's the little glitches. Here, the little fractal patterns, whatever glitches that happen if you like just use this system. Like I place I think here, and then go outwards, and that's how it like kind of places it. It's kind of pretty, it's kind of cool. Not really practical, but still pretty cool. Yeah, so basically if you place one thing, you get four dots here. This is here, and this is another attempt at trying to make the grids work. And you can see it kind of working. It's like all the dots here. But that's the approach I took like a week ago, and I went on forward with that, trying to figure out how it works, how to make it work. And that's basically me kind of just being heavily inspired with Dyson Sphere program and how they made their grids. You can see like basically the lines are kind of weird here because they're basically joining on basis of distance, but that's just to show how it could work, you know. I just generated the points by using like spherical coordinates and stuff like that, and the lines are here to just to preview. You can see here like just one straight line to the bottom. There's some lines that line. You can see the whole thing here. Okay. And yeah, here's some different regions. I just made different regions to different colored regions, and so you can see it from afar. This is like basically the grid is divided on the planet. The grid is divided into all those different spheres. I think there's like 23 if you count the equator region as one, the north and south. And yeah, it kind of works. It kind of worked. The grids, the smaller grids, get kind of bigger. Let me see if I can just get something here. The smaller grids get there's just less squares that you can fit on the circumference of this at this angle. That's phi, right? Or theta? I don't remember. Basically, on this circle here around where this region starts. That's as an example. The squares here get bigger because there's just less squares to fit in here, right? And that's kind of the pattern. There's more of that, more of the regions. The region get denser the closer it gets to here. And yep. Okay, let's go next. Well, what happening? Is this the same? I think this is the same video. And here is me trying, like just a few days ago, trying to do stuff with shaders. And that's basically just a Mercator projection, whatever the name is. Just basic grid and a sphere. You know, that's where I started. Here we go. Here's already like just some progress into it. There's no regions. Oh, this is this is another thing. Oh, I don't have a different. What's going on? I don't have a different screenshot here, but I've installed like a little theme for a custom theme for Godot, and I very like it. I had a second screenshot which showed how it looked like. I mean, you can see it here, kind of. Yeah. Although, but yeah, I very much prefer this one. It's very sleek, very minimalistic, you can say. So, coming back to the grid. Here's that's from like yesterday, I think. Still, the grid is kind of warped, and that was because of the resolution of the sphere. Because of that's the default sphere. It's mapped onto a default sphere from Godot, so it just needed a little bit more resolution. I thought of just generating my own sphere, but after I pumped up the resolution, it was just fine. there's some music going on. It's gonna go on YouTube. I'm gonna get a strike probably. So here we go. Here's like a little bit more improvements. It's still like very warped. The lines at the top are not thick. What's the opposite of thick? Slim? I guess slim. There's just very narrow. And also there's this projection thing I've made. That's pretty cool. I like it. It's in the shader. Basically calculation how far the viewport is from the point, and just changing the alpha. No music. That's still the old relative placing system. I still didn't make the grid placing to work with this grid. But you can see me just having fun and just flying around, looking into this. And there's the points. Okay, those red points are generated in the code, and that's the original grid you could see like a week ago in the screenshots. And white grid is the generation from the shader. And I was really happy to see that those align. Those are aligned pretty much, and because that means I'm not getting fucked by like shader offset projection or precision points or whatever the fluff is. I'm really happy it works. I'm really happy to see it just align pretty well. Like you can see here, line going here, drop in here, because those are just two separate systems that don't really talk to each other. And both, like one is on the CPU and one is on the GPU. So yeah, I mean, I use the same rules to generate both of those kinda, but still, it's good to see that. What we have here, no music. And that's basically the progress we made. I made, unless you want to be a part of the creative mind and just help me out in the comments with something here, then I'm gonna say we made it. But yeah, that's what I made past 2 weeks. I thought I was gonna finish, like, basically I was gonna like port every single part of the game to the planets at this point. But this grid just trying to project a grid, a square, a couple of squares on a sphere. It is. Listen, I've tried doing that. I've tried fighting against the grain as I usually do. Didn't pay off. I just I kind of paid off, but I just used I got heavily inspired with a solution from DSP. So those guys made it very good, very well. I'm amazed that they had this idea, and it has a problem at the region where the regions like how do you say it? Where the regions meet. But some of the lines. Let me find if I find one. Close enough, I guess. Some of the lines just align properly. So they're like, you have like main lines that go up and down. I could make it in the shader so they appear thicker or something like that. It could be helpful because it's really hard finding lines like that this way, because there are some that align up. Like you can see here, I think. See, if maybe it's easier to start from the top. Some of them will line up. Like here, not here. Here, no. Here, maybe, no. Well, long story short, I will need to basically make it a bit easier to see those lines. I think this one is gonna be it. There's the yeah, and I think we're getting close to the middle region. And yeah, it's all aligning pretty well. You can see, and we can go to the bottom. It's just one straight line from top to bottom. That's pretty cool. And I think there are like 2 or at least 2 or maybe 4 lines like that. I didn't look into it that much, but yeah, I probably will need to kind of mark it somehow, just make it like a thicker line. So like if I like as I said, like this is still like the old kind of old game from the 2D times. I mean, still you still have this region, but the building logic changed completely. I still need to fix it because it's I need to clean it up because it's just like made very haphazardly. You can design drones still, kinda. It works. Kind of weird because you can build it from the bottom, but it still works. So yeah, I can whoop. Yeah, it just follows the main camera, but it doesn't rotate. Let's just get, yeah, and this just still works. And I didn't really even try doing the fights because those are still like kind of in 2D. But it needs some more work to be done in order to make it all work. So yeah, that's the progress I've made past 2 weeks. And I thought to myself, like, the design decision behind like the planets was like, why do I need planets? Do planets look cool? Yeah. Are there many games set on planets? No. Are there many games set? Are there many factory games set on planets? Fuck no. So I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And I decided to learn more stuff to basically build this, the grid. It was kind of painful sometimes, but I think it might be worth it. So let's see. We'll see how it goes in the future. Also, you can just look at the beautiful sun that I have. Also the Skybox. The Skybox is also just noise texture I've generated. I might show you. I still need to do something with the poles. I don't know how to undistort the poles. But this here is basically noise texture with a very steep ramp going on in it. So let me just show you. The sky is here. It's a shader. Although I don't know, do I need the shader? Maybe I don't need the shader even. But this is basically the noise texture. This is, let me just, you can see more noise now. And it's very starry. I might replace it with something different later on. But yeah, that's just basically the, I can make big plots. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So basically, like, everything here is basically procedural. This grid isn't procedural. Let me just say this sun, this normal map on this thing, you can see is procedural. Godot is very powerful when it comes to like noise and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. You can just make that in like half an hour, like this sun. So yeah, basically there's that. I can show you the shader if you're curious. Although it's you know what, it's a mess. I will show you, but it's just a mess. It's not cleaned up. Oops. This is unused. This is unused. This is unused. This is, wait, this and this. Those are used, I think. No. Yes? Yes, those are used. Those are used. Because this is like the grid Y. I can just disable. Pop. You can see it here. Being generated like that. So let's just get the grid Y again. Also, you can maybe make out the logic behind it. Like you can see the grids here being. Why is it? I'm holding the right mouse button. Why does it change my tools? This ain't cash money. Okay. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.